Right, hello, welcome to the UK Casuals Talks To series. Today we are speaking to Gavin King, A.K.A. the Casual Sniper. So how are you today, Gavin?
All good, mate. Yeah, all good.
Okay, we'll crack straight on. Can you remember the first time you went to see Pompey play?
A lot of people do. I can remember going. I started off non-league football. My dad used to play for Waterlooville, a local side. He
Right.
was originally in Pompey's books, but one thing led to another. He ended up at Waterlooville, so he used to take me over there, and occasionally he'd nip me down to Pompey. I can't remember what games. Then, of course, I started playing football, and the lads there, they used to go and watch Pompey, so that's where it started. I went with them,
You went
and
with
13, 14, something like that probably. And I can remember paying 50p to get in. We'd go in the North Terrace, and at the time it was
yeah.
At the time, it was dear, if I remember rightly, to get in the fratting end. And we was all skinny little runts, so we used to wait, and there was a bent bar, and we used to, when the old girl weren't looking, we'd squeeze through and get in the fratting end. So yeah, that's where it all started.
Yeah, and obviously there's two sets of supporters that go to football. So when did you notice the first bit of aggro at Fratton, Gavin?
I don't know if I can really remember anything like that, but obviously playing football, and some of the lads that played with us were older, and
Right.
they would often talk about it, and it was a pretty big thing then. It sounds a bit wrong, doesn't it? But it was the in thing, to be a football casual and stuff like that. Of
course, yeah.
It was big time. So of course I started going. You got to know them, and one thing led to another. And you started going away with them, and it's obvious what went on,
Yeah.
That's that's where it all stemmed from with that.
Right. So obviously, Portsmouth's firm are known as the Pompey 657 Crew. Very iconic name. Do you know how that name came about?
One of the guys that I know. He sent in an article, and at the time Pompey didn't have a main firm name, I don't think. And of course, it was the first train out of Pompey to go to London, the 657. So that's what he named it, and it stuck.
And it's really well known. And obviously, there's been books wrote about Pompey. Something that come up, obviously, Pompey have been, their firm were photographed a lot. And this was way before the era of social media, and I've heard some silly rumours like they had an official photographer. Have you got a take on why your firm was photographed so much? Sorry, not your firm, but the firm you were in.
Yeah, that was long before my time. Jake Payne and people like that would probably shed more light on that. But I mean, there's a hell of a lot of photos. It's good to look back, I see some of the lads in latter years I was knocking about with, and there's pictures of them there, they look pretty smart back then. Good to see.
Fantastic photos. In fact, Jake, I've interviewed Jake Payne, and he sent me a file full of Pompey pictures, and every time I put them on UK Casual's Facebook page, please like and follow. It's that they're always well received and get a lot of likes and that, what have you. Okay, Gavin. So now you're a young man. You're going to Pompey. You're well into the football scene. What I want to ask you is, home or away? What was your better? What was your preference?
Away. To be honest, I mean, tell you what, at the time in the late 80s, I mean, going to Fratton Park was brilliant because we all would meet up. A lot of the lads remember at the barn behind the Milton Arms, and that predominantly was all lads. It was a stronghold for Pompey lads,
right.
But of course, the away games were always great crack. Getting up early, travelling, especially if them down the road were going through. And we'd wait at Waterloo. We'd get up there before. I remember going up there one. I was hung over to hell, and got up there. I was so ill, and we knew they were coming through. And of course, always remember Docker Hughes standing at the front. And at the time, it was back when they had the metal shutters that used to go across the platforms. So that was across. The train pulled in, the scummers all got off, and the guy opened up, but they weren't coming out because there was a hell of a load of us there waiting on Waterloo for them. You know, yeah. So yeah, all stuff like that. It was brilliant. You know, great days.
Yeah, I've spoke to Eddie Crispy. Sorry, Eddie Crispin. Apologies, Eddie. About the character Docker Hughes. Can you just give us your take on Docker?
Docker was Docker. Wherever you went away, he was always there. You'd see him. He was a character, you know. He loved his horse racing. Got a T-shirt there with talking about independent brands. That's the 657's independent brand.
Okay.
It's got all the calling cards and that on there. Little picture of Docker there, you know, to do with the
fantastic
when he ran the election. But yeah, he was just Docker was Docker.
And they actually entered into politics, didn't they? Just for a piss take.
Yeah, well, I managed to get hold of one of the T-shirts when he was running for election. I think I wore it so much it fell to bits. It was great times. You went round Pompey and the graffiti was all over the walls, both Docker. It was on flyovers. It was everywhere. It really was. It was, yeah. I mean, there was a lot of lads there more prevalent than me that was involved in it. But at that time in Fratton Park, it was a big thing. Yeah, it was good. Good laugh.
You mentioned Southampton, or rather you called them the Scummers. Your words, not mine. What is the beef with Southampton, Gav? Because obviously you get lots of derbies, and you know Liverpool don't like Everton, Man United and Manchester City and I think it's wherever you live, the team up the road you don't like. But with Portsmouth and Southampton, there always seems to be a little bit of extra spice.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
Can you tell us why?
Well, they say it goes back to the dockyard days with the strikes, right, and stuff like that. But I mean, if you're a Pompey lad growing up, it is instilled in you. You know that hatred, let's say, for a better word, of being down the road. It's born and bred into you. It just comes part and parcel of being a Pompey lad. Of course, when we played them a little while ago, they turned us over on the pitch. But by God, I mean, down Goldsmith Avenue, you can watch the videos on YouTube. There was one hell of a turnout. I think with that game, people who don't even go to Fratton turn out. You know, they'll come out on the streets.
They'll come out. It's an occasion.
Oh, it's massive. Yeah, it's massive. You know? But yeah, I mean, you've got all your big Premiership derbies and things like that. But Pompey and Southampton, there's something, a bit tasty about that.
Yeah. I've obviously, as an outsider, that's always been my view.
I mean, let's put it this way: I'd imagine the old Bill, if they ever see Pompey have got to play Southampton, they think, oh, here we go. They get overtime out of it, of course, but they must think.
They earn a few
for a busy night.
But they'll have to work for it. Okay, we'll turn to fashion a little bit. And obviously, you're quite active on Twitter with 5,000 plus followers. If you want to go on Twitter and follow, what's your Twitter handle?
Barney Brazil, or we can just go the Casual Sniper. He'll come up with it. Yeah.
And you've just mentioned that your alias, or you're also known as Casual Sniper.
Yeah, Casual Sniper.
How did that come about? Because that's a real good name, you know.
Yeah, I owe that one to a guy from Pompey. He's on Twitter. Andy, his name is, and I think I'd got one of my little bargains that I hunt out. You know, I'm always trawling for stuff, and I'd put it on Twitter as per usual. And he said, "You are the Casual Sniper." And it could have been something on eBay that I'd waited for, and just I always wait, and then wallop, I'll hit the price, you know, at the last minute. So he put "You are the Casual Sniper," and I thought I like that, and I stole it. I still owe him a pint. Yeah, I've said to him when we meet up, I'll get him a pint, you know. But and it's stuck, and it's sort of fitting, you know.
Oh, it's a fantastic nickname, or a fantastic alias.
I
really do. Speaking on fashion, and you go across and you get bargains and stuff, and some of the bargains you pick up, Gav, I don't know how you do it. I mean, you get stuff for quite
I
cheap.
think I've got too much time on my hands.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, you can see behind me. That's only part of what I've got. There's another rail goes all the way along there with jackets on. There's another
Right.
rail there, probably about 8 foot with jackets.
Okay.
But I mean, I'll get stuff like this. This is a Puma reference book.
Okay.
So you see the middle one in there. I was
Yeah.
reading about that. That's Puma Delphine. They were made in the 70s. So me being me, it's one of the most sought after Puma trainers. I went on the hunt. And what did I find? Eventually, an original pair of Puma Delphine from the 70s.
Fantastic. And that's not reissued.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah, that's not a reissue. That's an original Puma Delphine from the 70s. I paid 70 odd quid for that pair.
Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
know, I mean, to me, and that was from a guy who's a collector. But yeah, I mean, considering their age,
Yeah.
but that's what I love doing.
They're in good nick considering their age.
Yeah, that's what I love doing. I've got reference books. I'll trawl for stuff all the time. Big lover of the stuff coming out of Hong Kong, Shanghai. Some of this up here is from out there. They're producing some outstanding stuff that is way off the radar. You know, everyone will go
let's speak about stuff way off the radar, because lately, well, not lately, it's been in the last couple of years, you've had a lot of independent brands.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Yeah.
You've got Peaceful Hooligan. I think you're wearing a T-shirt today.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I mean, they were one of the first ones.
Weekend Defender also.
Yeah,
but then you've got, I mean, I've got an Away Day Apparel T-shirt on. There's Frictit Skelder. Let me see. There's Supernova Terrace Wear. I mean, there's so many that actually...
Everyday Garments.
Yeah, they make...
Another one.
They actually make their clothes for football lads. How do you feel about these independent brands actually giving the big brands a run for their money?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. You know, there's nothing... I think that the problem with the casual scene at times is you can go out and there's a chance, if you buy a lot of the stuff that's, let's say, you know, your proper retail stuff, not your independents, there's a chance you can go out and you could be wearing the same as someone else.
Yeah.
Now,
nothing worse.
No. The thing is with the original casuals, it was always trying to find something different. Right. You know, it's like this jacket here. I got this. You must create. That is like a checkered jacket there. Now, I only bought that a few months ago. I can't wait to get that on the winter because there's no one going to be walking around with that.
No, exactly.
You look for something that's a bit different to what everyone else is wearing. That, and with my Deerstalker on, I'm going to look...
Man of the Deerstalker.
Yeah, like a Scottish detective, but
Joel Sherlock. Yeah.
yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
So no, the independents I think are brilliant. Yeah, brilliant.
We'll stick with fashion just for a little bit longer. What's your favourite bands, Gav?
Favourite brands? Uniform Bridge. I love Uniform Bridge stuff. There's a bit of that up there.
Again, not really that heard of.
No. There's a lot of it is from out and in that way, Shanghai, places like that, Hong Kong. I mean that's one of my favourites. That their stuff is outstanding quality, and you can pick it up in the sales. I mean, I got one of their sweatshirts the other day. They retailed at 90 quid. I got it for 45.
That's really good.
And if you're looking at buying a CP sweatshirt, you're looking over 100, aren't you?
Easy.
You know.
Easy.
Yeah. I would put Uniform Bridge up there quality wise, and the CP sweatshirts down there.
Oh, that's a big statement to make.
Yeah. It's right. It's bang on the money.
Yeah.
You know,
good. Yeah.
You can pay out all that money for. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. CP do some lovely stuff.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of brands out there that are doing stuff and it's better quality.
Yeah.
You know,
you just need to look.
Yeah. And the good thing about that is when you wear it out, people invariably will turn around and say, "What is that you're wearing? I love it." And you'll tell them the brand, and they'll be like, "Never heard of them." Well, you have now.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good.
Eddie's a big one for that. Eddie. I can go down and see Eddie, and we can go out for an hour or so, and we will just chat clothes.
Yeah.
Different brands.
I think every football lad can.
But it's. I think it's a bit
a lasting effect from the casual scene, isn't it?
yeah, it's good, and it's lovely that the casual scene is carrying on.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of them have died
especially in
away. The
fashion
other
wise.
scenes, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Okay,
great.
we'll take it back to football, Gav. And I probably know the answer to this, but I always like to ask my interviews this question: modern football. What's your take and what's your opinion, mate?
Not for me. Not for me.
Yeah.
The whole money thing has ruined it. The atmosphere in the grounds. I mean, I used to go to Fratton years ago, and there's been some great times. Even in the 80s, and people would back me up. When '89 hit and the rave scene become prevalent, Fratton Park, you could go down. I mean, I can remember coming back from a rave, and we went down. It was 3 o'clock kickoff. We went down. We'd been to a rave all night, and we literally laid on the terraces. No word of a lie. It was pretty empty. And I remember laying there, and this bloke kicked me. He said, "What's the score?" I said, "I don't know. I've been asleep." It was just that whole thing of going. It was, you had to be there regardless. You know, we was all knackered and raving. But yeah,
but if
it's
you
just
didn't go, if you didn't go, you felt like you missed out on something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All that's sort of gone. It's all this sitting down. I can't be doing with a sitting down. That's why I do the non-league now. You know, Porchy. That's the shirt they gave me a little while ago. Signed shirt.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
So, obviously, non-league will come into it a little bit because I want to ask you what you do nowadays. Obviously, your past has been with the Pompey 657, getting into the football casual scene. So, what does Gavin King do now in the present?
Porchester. I love going over. I went Saturday, watched Porchester. I mean, we've got Pittman playing for us, Brett Pittman. And he scored an absolute worldie on Saturday, 30-yarder. Pick that one out, you know. It's just great. You go with the lads. We went on the minibus. You know, we all trundle down there, get there. You're on the terraces. You can wander about. You know, there's no hassle. There just isn't any of the grief that you get now. I mean, following Pompey, you know, near the end became a bit of a ball's ache. You know,
because of the
I'd go away. I'd go away and I'd be in the middle of, you know, in a pub in the middle of nowhere, and the Pompey Old Bill would come in, and you'd be like, really? But that hasn't changed. Funny enough, I went to cricket last Friday, and sat with one of my friends, and I said to him, "I'm just going to get a drink." I walked up the top of the stairs, and there's one of the Pompey police unit there. I thought, oh, really? And he see me later on. At cricket. He see me later on, and he said, "Didn't expect to see you." I said, "I didn't expect to see you neither." Hello, Gav. You know, but but I love the non-league. You know, it's sort of going back in time to how it was. And there's a lot of Pompey lads over there. A lot of the old lads now who go, you know, they'll go to non-league. It's it's a good place to be.
I think you can say, because I'm a non-league fan myself with Weymouth. I think you can say non-league is almost untouched by the modern game.
Yeah. I mean, you still got. People might say, "Oh, you're talking rubbish," but even the football is a little bit. You know, you've still got the tackles flying in. You know, you've got all that still. The modern game, it's all got a bit. There's no real tackling anymore, is there?
VAR's terrible.
Yeah, that is just
You know.
Yeah, I mean, we do the other show, don't we? And you know, you try and say stuff about it and talk about it, but I don't watch as much football from the Premier and stuff like that as I used to do.
One thing I will say about VAR, they've tried to make it too clinical, and obviously the referee's there for a reason. He makes decisions, and he can make a decision rightly or wrongly, and that's where the phrase came. You know, not phrase, but that's where the chant came from. The referee's a wanker, because
and you don't know what you're doing.
But now so much has been taken away from the refs. And not only that, they've got to go and look at the screen and watch it for a bit. And it's a bit like American football, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, non-league, Portugal had a penalty Saturday. And, of course, the team we were playing, they said, "Oh, never a penalty." And one of them tweeted me. And he said, the ref must be on the payroll. He said, to give that penalty. Well, I came back at him and I said, "Well, your keeper must be on the payroll to let in a 30-yarder from Pittman."
Exactly. You get great banter.
Yeah. You don't get that.
It's too clinical. And obviously modern football, every old school person that I've interviewed hasn't really got that much good word to say about modern football.
I don't miss. I miss. I miss the camaraderie of Fratton Park, but I don't
Yeah.
miss all the rubbish inside it. Sit down, shut up, don't do this, don't do that, don't come in drunk. Yet you walk in there and they're trying to flog your beer. It's all.
Yeah,
Where's the
yeah.
sense in it? You know,
It's
where's
a
the sense?
contradiction, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a big, contradiction. Yeah, for me, it's not for me anymore. Not for
Well,
me.
I suppose you've always got the love for Pompey.
Oh yeah, that will never leave me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Pompey lad, born and bred. You know, and that again, part and parcel. You're a Pompey lad. You support the club. You know, I say support, but yeah, you'll always be a Pompey lad.
Oh,
That will never change. I'll always be Pompey. Hence, look, the badge is still there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't like the way the club's run. It's not for me. Yeah, and I don't miss all that. I don't miss the politics of it. Put it that way.
No. Okay. We'll just finish up. Obviously, you've joined the new lineup in the Talk from the Terraces football podcast. We've done the first episode with the other lads, Martin and Anthony. How do you feel about joining the podcast, Gav?
Brilliant. It's an absolute honour. Yeah, absolute honour.
Yeah.
I mean,
most people great to have you.
Most people know my story with my alcohol problems.
Yeah.
Things like that were never going to happen to me. You know, ever since I went sober, so many good things have happened to me, and I could add this to the list. You know.
Oh, that's good.
What it also does, mate, and it's a massive thing. It makes my family proud of me. To see me doing stuff like this when at times they didn't know where I was, what state I was in, or what had happened to me, you know. And now they see me doing stuff like this. My parents are over the moon. So yeah, big thanks to you, and big thanks to everyone who watches it. You know, let's hope it grows and grows.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's a pleasure, mate. Okay. Brilliant. So that was Gavin King, also known as the Casual Sniper. You can catch him and myself and Martin Wymo Gardner and Anthony Vivian on the podcast Talk from the Terraces. It's out every Monday. And there'll be more videos coming from UK Casual soon.